Hello everyone. I am Sanat Kumar Swami, Assistant Professor at Vedang Institute of Technology, Bhubaneswar. And in today's class, we will be discussing about the importance of personality in performance for a better performance in the organizational setting. And we will also be discussing about the definition and its various types of characteristics. Okay. We'll be going through few slides and we'll see what is the importance of personality in various kinds of organizational setting for a better performance. Yeah. So before we start, we'll go through the introduction part and we'll see. So what do you mean by personality? When we talk about personality, what comes into our mind? Generally, the behavior. Generally, the behavior towards the other person. Okay. So it is personality is a like traits, okay, a unique set of traits, okay, that distinguish the person to person, okay, that differences from one person to another person. We all of us, we have different types of traits, we have different types of characteristics, we have different types of personalities, we have different types of behavior. Our behavior changes from person to person, and that is the difference from one individual to another. Okay. And personality is very important to understand one person and to predict how a particular person or a particular individual is going to behave or work in the workplace. But I believe that that is somewhat superficial, because though personality is not a stagnant, it's not a static. Rather, I would say that it is a change. A personality may change, okay, and most of the cases you see that personality does changes, okay. It's not static. It's not going to remain static forever, okay. So by just judging a personality for a particular employee or for a particular person, we cannot say that that person is going to behave in a certain way in his or workplace, in his or her workplace, okay. So it does depends on the personality issue, and how does that personality can be changed with the due course of time, okay. So um, study of personality, why we need to study personality behavior in the organizational behavior, because um, to study the personality, we have to focus on how the individual differences, and that impacts various kinds of the work related outcomes, okay. If a person is if we are judging the person, if we are studying the personality of a person, we can understand that whether that person or whether that employee is satisfied in his job, whether that person or the employee is focusing on teamwork or have a leadership quality, okay. So these all judgmental issues can only be traced out if we are studying the personality in any kind of organizational setting, okay. So that is why the study of personality is very important in any kind of organizational behavior, okay. Next slide. So we'll be going through various kinds of key aspects of the definitions, and also the importance of personality in the organizational settings for a better performance in any organizational settings, okay. So we have already gone through the definition of personality. Now we'll see what are the traits. So what do you mean by traits? Personality traits. See, all of us, we have different types of traits. We uh, um, uh, show different types of traits during our behavior. Okay. So what are the traits? Traits are like thoughts, like feelings. What are our thoughts? What are our feelings? Okay. What are our behavior? Okay. Sometimes, you know, personality traits are enduring patterns of thoughts. Okay. Feelings and behavior, which are sometimes you will see that those are very relatively stable with due course of time, okay. But examples of traits includes extraversion. Okay. So what do you mean by extraversion? Extraversion means something related to positiveness. If you are showing a positive emotion, then that can be said as called as extraversion. Okay. Next is agreeableness. Okay. Whether you agree to a to any aspect in the workplace, that can be also contributed as a trait, as a personality trait. Okay. Conscientiousness. So what do you mean by conscientiousness? You see, there are a lot of employees in any workplace. They prefer to do their work or the assigned duty to the best of their ability. Okay. So that is known as conscientiousness. You are conscious to your work. You are conscious to your duty which has been assigned to you. But most of the employees, we also see that they are not conscientious enough. Okay. So that is something negativeness. But if that conscientiousness means if you are doing your own work or your own assigned duty to the best of your ability, then that also is a example of trait. Okay. Next is emotional stability. Emotional stability. What do you mean by emotional stability? You see, there are two types of employees in any workplace. Okay. So if something happens, any untoward incident happen, maybe some sort of behavioral changes from the administration, or any kind of workload, extra workload from the authority or from the workplace. So those types of employees, some of the employees, they show the emotional stability. I mean, they do not try to um, uh, uh, you know um, show their emotions, okay, at the workplace. So those kind of employees can be termed as emotional stable employees. But there are other categories of employees. They are not that stable. They are not emotionally stable, and they try to show off their emotions. Okay. So if a person is showing emotional stability, then that is also one of the personality traits. Next is openness to experience. Okay. The openness to experience. What do you mean by openness to experience? Whether you are open, whether you don't want to open up your experience. So what does that mean? It means whether you are extrovert or you are introvert, whether you like changes or you don't like changes. That is something related to openness to you have to be open. Okay. Whatever happens, it happens, and you have to accept. You cannot say no to any kind of changes which happens in your workplace. Okay. So you have to be very openness in your experience. Okay. So that is also one of the personality trait, okay, in any workplace. Now, characteristic. Okay. What are the characteristic? What are the characteristic of a personality? See, how do we, how, what motivates, or what um, um, uh, gives motivation to your personality? How do a personality changes? What are the characteristics to which the your personality changes? So the first one is motivation. Do you get enough motivation at your workplace? And what are the motivation? Motivation may not be financial all the time. So if you are getting motivation at your workplace, then definitely that is going to affect your personality. Maybe some sort of appreciation, a little bit of appreciation may also be termed as a motivation, and that may help the employee to give his or her best at the workplace. Next, values. What kind of values you are incorporating at your workplace? Whether your work, your effort is being given adequate value. If the organization or the administration, they value your hard work, then that is also one of the important characteristic of your personality. That does affect your personality. Okay. Attitudes and interpersonal skills. Okay, what do you mean by attitude? Attitude is also one of the trait, you can say. Okay, that is also one of the characteristic of a personality, and the better the attitude, the better your personality. If you have got a negative attitude to anything, there are a lot of negative attitude people or negative attitude employees in any kind of organization, and whatever you do, whatever, they are not going to change their attitude. Okay. Very dangerous for any kind of organization. Okay. Those kind of employees, okay, you see, they have a negative attitude to anything. Even if, let's say, for example, there's a necessary change in the organizational setting, they will, and that is a important, I mean, uh, that is very needed, okay, at that point of time. But still, knowing that that is an important character, essential requirement at that point of time, those kind of employee, they will show a negative feedback, they will show a negative attitude. Those are very harmful to any kind of organization. Okay, but there are other, on the contrary, you'll see there are other kinds of employees who have a positive kind of approach to everything. Okay, okay, they have a positive attitude. Okay, so those are very essential. Those kinds of employees are very helpful and essential for any kind of organizational growth. And the lastly, it is interpersonal skills. So what do you mean by interpersonal skill? What kind of communication skills, what kind of interpersonal skills you are having with your fellow beings, with your fellow employees, with your fellow colleagues. Okay. What kind of interpersonal skills you are showing at the workplace, that all contributes to your personality development. Okay. Next. Now, if we go to what are the importance of personality in organizational behavior, why is it important to understand personality in any organizational setting? Why do we not need to study about it? Is it that important? Well, in most of the organization, you'll see they are very least bothered about any kind of personality. Whether you want to work, that's fine. If you don't want to work, thank you very much. But they don't have time to understand the personality of any kind of employee and why the personality is going to change in the due course of time. And if that is going to, if that is changing, what are the characteristics? What are the background behind the change of the personality? So none of the organization these days, they have time to understand. But the multinational organizations who are really concerned about their employees, they do understand, they do try to study about the personalities of their employees in their organization. The first thing is job performance. Okay. See, your personality is going to hamper or affect your job performance. How? Um, if you're having a good personality, your personality traits is going to affect how you are going to solve your problems at your workplace, how you are going to your an approach to any kind of issue, an approach to any kinds of problems at the workplace. Okay, if a person, yeah, a conscientious person, we have studied in the previous slide, a person who is concerned about his tasks being done with the utmost ability, with the utmost um, um, diligently. Okay, you see that kind of person or that kinds of employee, they are very much organized. They're very much organized because they are focused only on their task which has been given to them, the assignments which has been allocated to them. And these kind of employees, they have a very high job performance. If we can if we study their performance at job, you'll see that they are having a very high job performance. Okay. So that is one of the importance, that your personality is going to affect your job performance. Okay. Next is job satisfaction. Okay. For the in the last few classes also, we have already discussed what is job satisfaction and why it is important. But here it is linked with your personality. Okay. you see, personality is very much linked with your job satisfaction. Okay. Because a person who has a positive personality, okay, they have their proper alignment. Okay, they have proper alignment with their job roles. Okay, and that is going to have a very high degree, high satisfaction in their job, whichever role they are been given for. Okay, but a person who doesn't have alignment with their job role, they are not going to have that kind of job satisfaction. So job satisfaction is also one of the attributes of personality development. Okay. Your personality is going to affect your job. Next, teamwork and collaboration. What do you mean by teamwork and collaboration? See, your personality, there are many types of personalities. Okay, in an organizational setting, you will see there are a lot of different types of personalities. Are colleagues with different types of personalities are going to work together. Okay, so they face a problem at teamwork. They don't want to collaborate, and that is going to affect the proper and effective teamwork. The teamwork is going to be very, if I mean, disturbed in an eventuality of absence of teamwork and collaboration. So your personality, if that is, there are a lot of people you see they prefer to work in a team. Okay? They prefer to collaborate, but um, if you have a negative personality, then definitely you're not going to work in a team. Very difficult for you to work in a team, and it is very difficult to collaborate. In that scenario, that becomes very difficult to have a creative thinking. You're not going to put much attention to details, and your leadership skills also gets hampered in the due course of time. So personality also has importance in teamwork and collaboration. Okay. Next is leadership styles. Okay, what do you mean by leadership style? What is leadership style? The leadership styles mean, okay, how you uh, how the leadership plays a very important significant role in an organization, how your personality is going to affect the leadership style. Okay, you see, for example, an individual with high extravention might excel in role that requires charismatic and social leadership, while someone high in conscientiousness might excel in role that demand detail oriented and organized leadership. So a person, okay, who has a conscientiousness in his or her role, what happens? That role is going to demand detail oriented and organized way of leadership. Okay, if some authority, they're showing conscientiousness at their workplace, then that is going to be they are very detail oriented, okay, and very organized leadership. But if somebody who is having extravention, okay, that that role requires charismatic type of character. These all roles, I mean, job performance, your job satisfaction, your teamwork and collaboration, your leadership style, these are all in the importance of personality. We are going to study the personality, then these are all under that has to be deeply understood in any organizational behavior. Now, personality assessment and tools. What do you mean by personality assessments and tools? We have different types of tools. Okay, in organizational behavior, while we go deep into organizational behavior, we'll see that there are various kinds of tools, okay, to assess your personality. We're not going to study deeply in today's class. Probably in the few next classes, we'll talk about different kinds of assessments which are going to play an important role in assessing the personality assessment. Okay, so what are the tools? Okay, what are the tools which are important for any kinds of personality assessment? Why do we need to assess the personality? Why is it important? See, during the times of recruitment, when we are having any kind of recruitment, or, okay, or we are forming any kind of committee, okay, or any kind of development, leadership change is happening, okay, change of guard is happening. So at that point of time, we have to understand what kind of personality or the employees are showing, okay, and we have to recruit the proper kind of employee, okay, for a specific role. We have to understand their personality so that that is going to align with that job role. While we are forming any kind of committee, we have to understand the our employees whether they are fit for that particular committee or not. So for that, we have to understand their personality, and we have to assess their personality. Now, uh, what are the common personality assessments? The common personality assessments or the tools we can say is like, which includes Myers-Briggs types indicator, or that is MBTI. MBTI, and it is also there is also one of the other tools which is known as Big Five personality trait. Okay. Big Five personality trait, which is known as Ocean model, OCEAN. OCEAN. So what do you mean by O? O comes openness. Okay. C is conscientiousness. Okay. E is extroversion. A is agreeableness, and N is neuroticism. Okay. And disc assessment. Disc assessment means D for dominant, okay, I for influential, S for steady, and C for compliant. So these are various kinds of tools to assess the personality. We'll be discussing about these kinds of tools in the next few classes. Okay, this is for the understanding that various tools uh, are very important for any kind of personality assessment in an organization setting. Okay, they do. Okay, workplace diversity. Diversity. What do you mean by diversity? Why do we need to understand diversity? What is the importance of diversity in a workplace? You see, to understand the diversity in any kind of workplace is very essential to create a inclusive environment. If you are going to create an inclusive environment where different kinds of people they come together, where different kinds of people having different kinds of attributes, different kinds of working styles, different kinds of strengths, different kinds of cultural, they come together. So that is going to affect the organization, and they can contribute in a much better way for the organization to grow. So definitely workplace diversity is also is one of the important characteristic. Okay. Now, if we coming to the last part of the slide, in summary, okay, if you're going to summarize, okay, that why the personality study of personality is important in any kind of organizational behavior, is because personality is a multifaceted aspect, okay, of any kind of organizational behavior that significantly influences individual and collective performance in the workplace. Okay, so that it influences the individual as well as the entire collective performance in any kind of workplace. Okay, so definitely personality plays a very important and multifaceted aspect. Okay, next, recognizing and leveraging the diverse array of personalities within an organization can lead to improved teamwork, job satisfaction, and overall organizational success. So if we are recognizing and leveraging the different arrays of personalities within an organization, then that is going to improve the teamwork, and that is going to improve the job satisfaction of the employees, and that is all. Lastly, it is going to for the overall organizational growth and success, that is very important. Okay, so if you see that personality, study of personality is very important in any kind of organizational growth. Okay, be it a small organization, be it a multinational organization. And these days you see most of the organization, they are having different, they are applying different types of tools to assess personality. Okay, if there is a personality disorder within any employee, so they try to study why that particular employee is showing this kind of attitudes, or what this kind of personality disorder. Okay, after few course due course of, I mean, after few time. So that is important for their operational success, that is important for the organizational success. Okay, so thank you very much. I believe we have already covered about the personality and its importance, and we will be discussing about the various kinds of tools and techniques which will be which is essential to assess the personality in the few coming classes. Okay, thank you very much.